hire a lot of people like yourself, you're going to build a company that's probably not going to be have that much opportunity for tremendous growth. So you want to be fair, you want to be consistent, you want to have diversity. This is something I feel very passionately about. As an entrepreneur, you will only be as successful as the talent you can attract and, more importantly, retain. And it doesn't matter how great your organization is, how much money you've raised, the press that you might be getting at your launch. If you're not a great leader and you're not very strategic and thoughtful in how you approach hiring, you will really have a hard time sustaining any type of growth and success. So I put together my 5 key tips to successfully find and hire top talent. Starting with 5, it's really understanding what you really need and honestly can offer. Sometimes entrepreneurs underestimate their opportunity that they have, because how many organizations can truly offer a role for somebody to come in and be part of growth, be part of building a culture, and have that opportunity to probably wear multiple hats and really maximize their learning experience and opportunity. So it's figuring out what you can offer. Some entrepreneurs that we've worked with and some of my friends, and admittedly some of these things are coming straight from my own experiences, you can think that your company might be greater than what it is. And so you just want to be realistic. And if you're meeting a really great candidate that you would think is an A player, they're coming from an amazing company, you don't want to be in a position where you're overselling the role and you can't deliver. So you need to get real on compensation, the types of projects they're going to be working on, as well as clients. Some clients are more exciting than others, so just being really real about the role as well as growth opportunities. Your leadership style and approach, and you probably have some self-awareness as to what that looks like. So if you're somebody who tends to micromanage, you might want to just be transparent about that and say that you're working on it and you want some feedback. And if you're somebody who just really just set it and forget it, and you're looking for somebody to kind of sink or swim, those are great conversations to have and just have some clarity and some thinking time to get really clear on that. And my last point is just don't inflate the opportunity or overcomplicate it. Don't try to marry 5 roles into one because it's your first hire. Really focus on what it is that you truly need and build out to my next point is to really create an accurate and attractive job description. Go into the heart of it. What is it like working at your company? What are some creative things that you can do to offer that don't cost a lot of money? You know, creative niche, we have some great culture boosters. What I call them, we have a foosball table. We have screen-free. It's mandatory screen-free time for 15, 20 minutes in the afternoon. Everyone participates. Either you go for an exercise, grab a coffee, read a book, or I've really converted a ton of foosball players. So there's a lot of activity around that. So creating your job description and then just getting it out, you know, blast it out. Your friends, all your social channels, your partners, ask your friends to push it. Your vendors often know great people. So anyone that you're working with from a vendor perspective, reach out to them, share the job description. Schools, some of your top grads, it's a really great opportunity. Go and do presentations at schools. Associations in your industry, and of course, your active employees today, if you have any. Get them engaged in the process. Offer a referral bonus. Even that's not even necessary if you're really running lean. Take them out for a lunch. Acknowledge them. They would be very happy to help contribute to the success of your company if they're happy. 3, create an interview scorecard and consistently use it as a tool. So what is a scorecard? Think of a report card. Think about questions that are critical to your core values. What kind of company do you have? What are some of your values? If you haven't figured all that out, don't worry. You don't have to do a big exercise on core values, but intuitively, what kind of company do you want to have? Where are you going? What's realistic? What's important for you? Do you want somebody who's very collaborative? Or do you want somebody who just works hard? How do you differentiate one candidate from the next without having bias? If you have a scorecard, it will help you stay on track and compare each candidate for their strengths and weaknesses. So in that, we talked about the cultural component, also looking at specific questions, technical questions for the role. What kind of competencies do they need? Are they client-facing? Are they more technical? If so, dive deep into the technical side of things. And lastly, going through the candidate's work experience, you're going to notice some flags, perhaps, in some candidates. Have they jumped around a lot? Are they new? Are they new in the country? Where do they come from? Are they changing industries? Have some questions specifically to understand their journey, so you're going to get a lot of, maximize your time with them and be a very effective and productive conversation. Surprised, always surprised. We as entrepreneurs are 10 times more prepared to go and pitch new business than we are to have an interview. We're talking about building businesses. There's nothing more important. Obviously, clients and sales are important than hiring the right people and qualifying them. You don't want to have a lot of turnover. Don't be scared of it, but you don't want it. It hurts your culture. So make sure you're just hiring right from the very beginning as much as you can. 2, conduct productive and engaging interviews. So we talked about that. Keep strong candidates active and engaged. What does that mean? You want to keep them warm. And don't play games. Some people want to hold back on their feelings if they're engaged, or really hold everything close to them. If you like somebody, tell them, hey, I'm really feeling good about our meeting. It'd be great to have you come in. I have a couple of advisors. If you don't have a team currently and you're still building your team, get your other team members involved in the hiring process. Have a consultant that you work with get involved in the hiring process. The more perspective you can get and feedback on your candidate, the better your hire is probably going to be. Don't spook potential stars. It's okay to express interest. Don't offer them a job in the first interview. That's never a good idea. And don't play games. Just try to be real, genuine, authentic. Understand where they're coming from. Show them some interest in some of the things that they've done so far in their career. Number one, the very, very first one is to start your employment relationship off right. And it really starts at the offer letter stage. And time again, I work with leaders. It's like if we talk about a certain salary, there's no game playing. That's the kind of salary they're at right now. That's what they want to make a move. At offer letter stage, it's not time to go in with a lower compensation. That's an unexpected, unpleasant surprise, and it's just not the best way to start off a relationship. So make your offer letter thoughtful, have some clarity around it. It's also really nice at the time of doing an offer or going through it with somebody, they're going to have a couple weeks probably before they start with you. How great would it be to be like, hey, this is what we're thinking for your first 90 days. And have them have that time to really think about it, get energized. They have clarity on what you're expecting of them and things that they can work towards. Because the first 90 days of any hire at any level are the most critical for engagement, for productivity and effectiveness. So you want to really take your time and put together a great offer. Obviously, you want to do your professional references, and you want to make sure, validate them through LinkedIn, and make sure that they are names and titles of people that they did previously report to, and have really great engaging conversations. I always start off conversations around references like, this is between you and I. I'm building my company. It's a very important hire for me. Everything that you're going to disclose to me, I'm going to keep it very confidential, so I'd appreciate your candid nature and honest feedback. We're not all perfect, so if you could just be as honest as possible of how this individual performed at your company and what your experience was like working with them, that would be so appreciated. And then just removing that and having that kind of openness, you really can get some great, great feedback. So I wanted to spend some time on retention. I'm really fanatical about retention. It's you get somebody, you went through the hiring process, you may have engaged a recruitment firm, LinkedIn, you've spent money and time and precious energy hiring somebody. It doesn't stop there. Retaining employees is so critical. I've lived this, so I'm going to just share some of my mistakes and hopes when you guys are building your great companies. You remember this because it's so important. When you're building a business, you're going to have setbacks, definitely. And your job is to be your best self every day. Even on a bad day, even if you're faking it, it's actually okay. Because you, especially in a smaller business, you're setting the tone for the entire company. And that your tone really determines, is it going to be a really good, productive day, or is people going to be feeling a little uneasy, a little tense? You want to always acknowledge big and small wins. Do it publicly, do it personally, acknowledge people. It's one of the best drivers, you know. All these tech companies are bloody well almost offering cars. We're seeing signing bonuses, all these things. That's not always a motivator. Sometimes it's the small things, like acknowledging, like being fair and consistent. We all have bias. If you hire a lot of people like yourself, you're going to build a company that's probably not going to have that much opportunity for tremendous growth. So you want to be fair, you want to be consistent, and you want to have diversity. You want to follow through on your commitments. If you're going to follow up on compensation conversation, if you're going to follow up on an action item to check out a program for an employee, follow up on it. Sharing your knowledge, your frustrations, your opportunities. Team, we just lost a big account. What can we do to pull this together? You'd be amazed when you share your financials, when you share your challenges, your opportunities, when you share your attention and give your attention, what you'll get back in return and what that does for job satisfaction. It's so powerful. It's incredibly powerful. Terminate negative people. As much as I'm a fan of retention, there's a time when people need to go. And you know the toxic people. You probably have all worked with somebody like that at some point in your career, hopefully not right now. And as a leader, it's the toughest thing to do, but you need to let them go. If you do not let them go, you will lose great people. You set the tone for the company, and you need to set an example. And there's a time for it to give people the right opportunity, give them the right training. But if they're not producing at the level that their colleagues are, and they're not as committed, or they're behind a lot of gossip and toxic type of behavior, let them go. Align your vision with each practice area in your business, or each individual when you're starting your business. If you can do that and figure out metrics around that and report and share and acknowledge on a monthly basis, it could go such a long way for engagement. You're gonna be so much more productive, and you're gonna meet your goals a lot faster because it's just engaging. Everyone's understanding what you're shooting for and how they can contribute. And I want to close on just creating a company that you would want to be part of. I've gone through different growth. I've had an office in Europe for a while. I've had to scale down with downturns. I've lost people, all those types of things, and you can lose yourself sometimes. And it's so important to always protect yourself and have really great advisors and friends to support you, just to get you back on track if you ever feel like you might be going in a direction and you might want to not go to the office one day. We should never have that, but I mean, it happens every now and then, but it's just a matter of getting it back on course and always feeling like you're building a company that you want to be part of, you want to help contribute to. And lastly, I really think being an entrepreneur is one of the best things in the world. You get to impact lives, you get to do things philanthropically, you get to have fun, you get to have flexibility, off-site, on-site, rewarding your team. You can compete for talent, no problem, with some of the bigger organizations. They just can't have that flexibility. And I would just say my last point is just have fun. Have fun with it.